As you can see from the fish counts of the local half-day boats, there are still plenty of yellowtail and bonita around, but they haven't been there for me in my past couple trips, and so I've started my fall to winter transition into ground fishing. Today I'm going to be leaning on my depth finder hard, using it to locate structure, track back to biting fish, and to find new structure. For bait, I'm going to use squid strips and a number 2 hook because I have a lot of confidence in that. You could also have used curly tail grubs or thrown small swim baits. There's not much current or drift, and so I'm going to start out with a 1 ounce weight, and I've tied a loop into the bottom of my 3-way swivel so that I can easily swap out to a 2 ounce, or I could switch rigs and go to a 3 or 4 ounce, and ultimately I'll end the session with a 5 ounce. When we found the fish today, they were biting. In some cases it took longer for the bait and lure to sink the 100 feet to the bottom than it did to hook a fish. On those occasions when the bite didn't come right away, I used the current to move me and lifted my pole slowly, coaxing a bite as if it was a small bait fish moving along the bottom. Today we caught a half a dozen brown rockfish. They can get to a length of 22 inches. Ones we caught today were about average. They strike real hard, they fight real hard to stay on the bottom. You'll feel the head shake almost all the way to the top, but one of the things I like the most about them are their beautiful white meat, almost similar to that of the calicos. I find that by scaling the gear down to match the fish, that the rock fishing can be a lot more, especially these shallow water rock fishing, can be a lot more enjoyable. For today's session, I will be using a 7-foot medium heavy shadow stalker rod and the smallest Komodo bait cast reel. The reel is loaded with 50-pound braid, and this is the same outfit that I use while fishing for spotted bay bass in the bays. Today we caught 4 sheep's head, and while ours were just barely legal, a male sheep's head can live for 50 years. It can grow to a length of 36 inches and weigh over 40 pounds. Of all the fish we caught today, the sheep's head is the hardest fighter. It has a real powerful tail, a real powerful goat-like attitude, and it's a lot of fun to catch. The fish that we caught the most of today was the ocean whitefish. They can grow to a weight of 13 pounds, although the ones we generally will get here are a foot or a little bit better in some cases. Again, these are a real strong fighting fish. They want to stay on the bottom. They fight real hard down there, and they will fight you all the way to the top. But again, like many of the others, one of their best qualities is the white flaky meat that they have. Really love eating these. On the way back in, at the end of the day, I stopped at the reserve line to fish the lobster pot buoys in waters of 250 feet deep. For this I used a big stick, 65 pound braid, 5 ounce weight. I could still feel the bite. It wasn't much of a fight, and it was more like just hauling fish in. Here I caught 5 starries to finish the session before going back to the pudding. During the landing I wasn't paying attention. I got a little sidetracked. A wave caught me, surfed me in, got me a little sideways. This could have been embarrassing if I'd have flipped in real shallow water. Plus it could have hurt my gear. So it's just a good warning for everybody. Keep your mind on what you're doing until you get your feet on the sand. We lost 1 fish to a seal today. If you look directly under the red word seal, you'll see him as he goes down, gets under the kayak, and he waits for the ground fish to get just about up to the surface. I'd never had him taking a ground fish before. I thought maybe he'd let it go, but he didn't. And once they get it, there's really no stopping them. You just let them have their tax. Well, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as we did making it. We're going to close out with a shot of my fish finder in night mode. It's kind of cool. So, this is John Pavlak saying goodbye. My power into about 5 or 6, so it's not quite so bright during off hours. But I like the night mode. I can see good arcs. I like the green, and it seems to be low enough light that it doesn't blind me out. I'm going to try that today.